game, without boundaries with reality. نیایش and Saiyan stood in front of the transmission device. Saiyan said, "The second round, the game, many lost, many with the least life left, gave up." I said, "Tron, for now there is no real death, but it seems that from the new era, real death will be added. Like cage fighting, Blue Whale, we don't just have espionage and hacking. The other party plays with awareness and for the sake of 1 billion. Either you reach or you die. How long do you want to stay there this time?" "Until the end of this era," نیایش said. "You should come too. The excitement is from now on." I said, "I know, I will definitely come. This time be careful of that portal, we almost got caught that time. You were born in the digital and virtual world, but I am for this world." Saiyan said, "Now we are here with real bodies. But okay. We need to install some encrypted devices both here and in Tron so that if the portal is damaged or tampered with, we can return." I said, "I agree. I miss you." They both smiled and said, "So do we." I entered the code. As the portal turned on the webcam, a blue light began to shine and open like a hand fan. As the scan began from the feet up, the Saiyan turned into tiny digital dots, and after he left, the prayer disappeared after him. I put the virtual reality headset on my face and entered Tron. Buildings, cars, players and characters in the game, many with avatars of different genders, skin colors and ages, and some with their real selves. Wristbands were tied on their hands that showed the amount of lives and the game map. The player entered for free. But when buying weapons and clothes and upgrading them, they had to pay real money. The world of Tron was real and located on a remote island in the Pacific Ocean, which was made invisible by a dome. Tron introduced himself through promotional teasers and a world that many considered virtual. But the closer he got to the end and the prize, the harder the stages became, and the player himself, after taking and signing the agreement sheet, entered the game with his real body through Tron's portal and webcam. And through the same webcam, he returned to his own world. نیایش and Saiyan, as guiding and accompanying characters and those who gave new missions to the player, appeared and took on different forms and personalities in Tron. At the same time, because of some of the dangerous characters in the game, people like me, نیایش and Saiyan, had to be careful about their entry into the world outside the game. The person who was murdered at that party was a biological weapons dealer in the planet market in the Tron world. Tron was a game of fear, survival, and action. After examining the surroundings and making sure that the transfer of the energy and the prayer were done correctly, I turned off the headset and, after safely severing the connection with the brain and eyes, removed it from my face. Sepide went to her apartment after work. Her presence was considered harmful to her neighbors, especially her neighbor across the street, Muzranama, for husbands and even their young sons, and she had warned others to be careful of their husbands so that they would not be stolen by Sepide. Sepide was a girl with a height of 170 centimeters, light eyes, thin and arched eyebrows, a thin nose, and relatively thin lips. Because of her job, she wore attractive, stylish, and colorful clothes. Her clothes were not short or loose, but they displayed a beautiful and eye-catching hand and harmony. Her landlord, Mr. Saremi, had come to see her and had apologized to her on the pretext of needing a house for his son, and in fact, for the sake of Muzranama and the neighbors. Sepide read the embarrassment and excessive compulsion in his face and promised to hand over the house as soon as possible. He came and went silently during all this time. Because of the looks of the neighboring women and sometimes some of their husbands, he did not smile or greet. He entered his house as quickly as possible. His deadline to leave was in 4 months because of Saremi's acquaintance with his parents. But it was difficult for him to find a place and the money to rent another place during this time. He could not turn his back on Dr. Yechter. He had also refused her proposal, and the fact that he had this office from her and in the building that belonged to her. In exchange for helping his son recover, he would be based there. If he told Sina and Helen, Helen's brother Hamed would be found. He did not know what to do. His only option was Martin. He had to prove his brotherhood and his feelings. After calling him, he set off towards the cafe. The windows of the cafe were covered for Ramadan. It had an open sign. He entered. There wasn't much crowd in the cafe. When he saw me, he came towards me. After greetings, we sat down at a table. Sepide said, "It's a nice and cozy place, wooden tables and benches, that bar. With its open chairs, light brown and orange colors, on a round table, more cozy areas for studying and solitude, and this soft music, you also welcome fasting people." I said with a smile, "Yes." At noon, the crowd increases. We also have sandwiches and pizza here. Sometimes we also play games. What made you proud to see my cousin? I came to you because of that word and your feelings as a brother. Didn't I make a mistake? I shook my head and said with a pause, "So it's a serious problem that out of all these people, from uncle and cousin to Sina and Helen, and you came to me. At my service. Honestly, it has to do with my situation. Being divorced.